Hello, very good evening, all of you. I hope you are doing well. If you can hear me and see me clearly, please just give me a quick confirmation in the comment box. Can you hear me clearly and can you see me clearly? Uh, Very good evening, guys. A few of you can hear me. Karen, just okay. Thank you. Couple of you have confirmed that you can hear me now and you can see me as well. Okay, thank you very much. Uh, who I have one person, Karen. I see you can't hear me. Just quickly check or refresh your window because most of the people are able to see me. There might be some connection issue, right? Quickly, just give it a check, and we are good to go. Okay. Guys, just 1 minute, please bear with me for one more minute. I will get back to you. There's some technical issue that I'm facing. All right. I'm sorry, guys. Now we are all set and good for this evening. Uh, Kindly give me a one quick confirmation if we are good to go now. All of you can hear me. All of you can see me, and all of you can see a slide on the screen which is decoding the verbal ability section. If that's good, we are all set to go. Yes, okay. I have a confirmation. Yes, sir. I will address that question towards the end. All right. So, a very sincere apologies for the delay. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for the confirmation. We will start with our session for this evening, which is decoding the verbal ability section, facts, inferences, judgments. Okay. So this is a very interesting topic in the critical reasoning section. All right, and although this has not appeared as much in the recent years, in 2014 mock test paper, official cat mock test paper by so official cat mock test paper, we had seen the appearance of these questions. So that year it was very significantly speculated that these questions might make a comeback. The last time these questions officially appeared in the paper was 2006, but before that they had come into 1994. So it took a long time for them to come back. Now, uh, although CAT has maintained its pattern for the last few years, we can expect surprises because FIJ are potentially very good critical reasoning questions. Critical reasoning questions which can come in the format of थीटा क्वेश्चंस. ये थीटा क्वेश्चन भी आ सकते हैं. पहले एमसीक्यू पैटर्न आते थे. They can come as theta questions. So it's important that we understand them, and they also set premise for first of all other exams. इस type के questions NMAT में, SNAP में, CT में, sometimes in IIFT they have appeared in the recent past. So it's important that we know, we understand them. And believe me, starting में there's a small hiccup to understanding this topic. But once we are through, once we have a better understanding of this particular topic, uh, थोड़ी सी practice, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. It just takes some practice to go from basic to master level in this topic. So I hope you're clear with whatever I've said so far. Let us go ahead and try and understand what these things are. I have three very important words here. Okay, uh, facts, inferences, and judgments. How do we solve it? We will see what these questions look like. They are all about facts, inferences, and judgment. And we will see what are the techniques to solving these questions. Okay. My three standard rules, which three standard rules to cracking every pretty much every question in your VARC section. Pretty much every question. First and foremost is read a lot. Ensure that you are reading from diverse sources. Ensure that you are reading a lot. All right. This develops your comprehension. This develops your judgment. This develops your ability of summarization. You can't even stop the list. Every time, every topic, you might actually be smiling about this fact that for every topic, ma'am does have this one standard opinion, but there's a very good reason. With time, you will understand why I maintain this strong opinion or read a lot. Besides reading a lot, definitely all the exams we are preparing for, they are all time bound exams. Okay, race against time. So it is very very important that besides practicing, you need to time your practice. All of them are time bound exams, and it is very essential for you that you ace against time as well. Okay. Then next is your grammar basics. For FIJ questions, your grammar basics should be in place. You should have a basic bare minimum understanding of what are subject verb agreement, your parallelism, your basic rules, fundamental rules of nouns, pronouns, adjectives, adverbs, what modifiers are, their utility, their application basics. We have discussed a couple of them in our previous sessions, and we will discuss as and when we find them relevant to the topic. Okay. That brings me to the redundant question again. What is fact? What is an inference? And what is a judgment? Okay. So let's try and answer these questions. What are facts? What are some people very easily feel that they very easily can distinguish between them. Some people very easily tend to get confused between them. So I would like some of you to attempt to answer. What do you think are facts? Quickly put in your answer in the chat box. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay. I see a couple of answers. Universal truths, practical reality. Okay, reality. Nice. You people are pretty close to what facts actually are. Facts are nothing but your direct observation or existing reality. In fact, all reported statements can be termed as facts. Facts is something you know for a you know for sure that they are true. ये सच है ही. For example, axioms, right? We have all studied axioms at school level. Axioms are facts. Universal truths are facts. Anything that is verifiable, anything that you can prove that हाँ ये बात सही है, ये exist करती है. Anything that's verifiable, that's a fact. Fact can also be seen as data without any opinion, any unbiased opinion. Okay. Anything that can be seen or heard or read, जो भी कुछ concrete है, that is a fact. All right. What is inference? Can some of you quickly type in the chat box what is inference? If you have any doubts in fact, just hold on to it for a minute. I will move ahead and I will explain it to you even better with an example. What do you think are inference? What do we mean by inference? Inference is some objection. Okay, so in the chat box, I see a lot of you typing one common word, which is conclusion. You are pretty close to getting correct. Somebody has very rightly, nicely mentioned the information we get from facts, something that you can logically deduce based on facts. Facts के you while using facts, whatever you are able to judge, understand, and conclude, that is called an inference. So in another way, can I say that fact inference is nothing but fact combined with logic. जब आप एक fact के साथ कुछ logic दे दोगे, and that makes you come to a conclusion. That is what is called inference. Okay. Inference, if you tend to see, inference has a cause effect relationship. Okay. Inferential statements में you always see a cause effect relationship. ये ऐसा हुआ इसीलिए like you see something as a consequence of something, right? We will see in our following questions also, and we will observe in our example also. Quickly, let's understand what judgments are. I want all of you to type in what do you understand of judgment. What are judgments? Conclusion based on reasons. Okay. Some of the answers I have are opinions, views, individual opinion, final statement given about some issues, final opinion, ability to make decisions. Okay. 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 I would slightly correct. Most of you are correct. And I see one common word appearing, that judgment is an opinion. One common word that I can very clearly see is judgments are nothing but opinions. Judgments is a statement that shows your approval or disapproval. It again, like, it's another way to describe an opinion. Judgment is something that shows your approval, your, or I mean author's approval or disapproval with a subject, with a person, with a situation, anything. The matter could be anything, but judgment is nothing but your opinion. Okay, there is a high sense of subjectivity in judgment. Okay, and judgment is typically not verifiable. Judgment may or may not be right. So there is one critical element, and there's one critical aspect to judgment. Okay, many people, lot of time, especially during exam, when you are under exam pressure, people tend to confuse between judgment and inference. कौन सा judgment है और कौन सा inference है. Okay, how do you distinguish between the two? Both are very close. Very honestly, both are very close. Opinion and conclusion, both are very close. How do you distinguish between the two? Your this differentiator is logic. Okay, judge inference needs to be based on some logic, some solid point. But judgment may or judgment के लिए necessary नहीं. You may not. You may have a completely illogical judgment. Okay, you may have a completely illogical opinion. All right. I hope I'm clear with this. Let's quickly see example of three sentences to understand what is what. So my first sentence, if you can see on the right side of your screen, my first example, Sita attends all the lectures of MBAP. What do you guys think is this? Is this a fact? Is this a judgment, or is this an inference? First sentence, Sita attends all the lectures of MBAP. Is it a fact, inference, or judgment? Quickly type in the chat box. It's a fact. Absolutely right. Whoever, all those who have answered, it's Rachel, Akhil, Atharva. Very nice. It's a fact. Okay. Why is this a fact? Because it is completely verifiable. Sita attends all the lectures of MBAP. How do we know this for sure? Attendance sheet उठा के देख लो. Like, this is verifiable. This is a direct observation. This is a reality. This sentence describes a reality. Now, if I move to second sentence, Sita is very consistent with her attendance. If I move to the second sentence, Sita is very consistent with her attendance. Is this a fact? Is this an inference? Or is this a judgment? Second sentence. Is this a fact, inference, or judgment? Second sentence, as you can see, Rachel has answered correctly. It's an inference. Why is it an inference? इन्फ्रेंस का हमने क्या सोचा था? फैक्ट प्लस लॉजिक. एक सिंपल सा फॉर्मूला लिखा है वहां पे, लाइक इंग्लिश को भी मैथ से एक्सप्लेन किया हमने. फैक्ट प्लस लॉजिक इज इन्फ्रेंस. सो वी हैव अ फैक्ट दैट सीता अटेंड्स ऑल द लेक्चर्स ऑफ एमबीएपी. आपने सिंपल लॉजिक लगाया. ओके, इफ हर अटेंडेंस इज, if she is present in all the lectures, then yes, Sita is very consistent with her attendance. So inference is your conclusion. आपने क्या conclude किया कि yeah, she is very consistent with her attendance. Now, if I look at the third sentence, Sita is very diligent about her preparation. What do you think this is? Sita is very diligent about her preparation. Is this a fact? Is this an inference, or is this a judgment? Absolutely. This is a judgment. Why is this a judgment? Sita is very diligent about her preparation. First of all, that sentence itself, the sentence construction is very vague and subjective. Just because you have read the first two sentences, you would automatically guess, or our mind automatically processes कि Sita is very diligent about her MBA preparation or CAT preparation. Okay. First of all, उसमें लिखा नहीं कि preparation of what. So first of all, there is ambiguity. वहीं पे subjectiveness आ जाती है in the sentence. Okay, and most importantly, you see, Sita is very diligent. Diligent is a quality, and this is again based on very opinion, on somebody's opinion. Okay, so if we say Sita is very diligent about her preparation, there is like I might be going a little overboard, but walk with me. यहाँ पे लिखा है simply about her preparation. Her preparation, it could be, it's not necessary that attendance always corresponds to diligence. Okay, but this is my opinion. This is not verifiable. This is just a judgment. This is my opinion. कि हाँ, I find Sita very diligent. You might not. Other person might not. So this is completely a judgment. इसमें subjectivity है and इसमें logic नहीं है. There's no logic side to it. So we see clearly how you distinguish between three sentences, how you distinguish between a fact, an inference, a judgment. Okay. Some students do tend to ask me, ma'am, every sentence, is it necessary to belong to one of these three categories? I would say no. There are a few, it goes beyond the purview of this discussion, but there are a few sentences which might not belong to any of these three categories. Okay, these are sentences which tend to look a little incomplete. Okay, कुछ particular elements होते हैं. You need to have a subject, you need to have an object, you need a shall or a will, tenses, lot of things that you need to consider. अगर इनमें से कुछ चीजें absent होती है, only then. So it goes a little beyond the purview of the discussion, but I'm just giving this out to you for information. Not every sentence has to be a fact, inference or judgment, but ये एग्जाम में आपसे नहीं पूछा जाएगा. Okay, there won't be a blank or a zero or something like that. All right. Very quickly, I hope you're all clear with distinguishing which sentence is a fact, which sentence is an inference, and which sentence is a judgment. If there are any doubts, please quickly put them in your chat box. I'll be a little specific with your question. Quickly put them in your chat box, and if there are no doubts, then we'll move ahead. All right. I don't see any doubt. So we will move ahead with our first question. Okay. I have one query that says, can you explain inference once again? I would quickly help you with this, Sarat. Inference is something that you conclude. Inference equals आपके mind में just for the sake of processing. You can think about inference as inference equals conclusion. Okay? आप fact के साथ logic डाल दो. Cause don't get stuck on cause effect relationship. We will explore this through our questions. How do you understand what inference is? आप conclude जो भी करते हो, that is your inference. Equate inference to conclusion in your head. That will help you understand and decode what this is about. Okay, inference आप जो, for example, let's see the example on the right hand side. Sita attends all the lectures of MBAP. Using this fact, using this as a fact and using basic logic कि अगर कोई बहुत सारे lectures attend कर रहा है तो वो consistent तो होगा ही ना. Hence, your second sentence is an inference because it combines a fact with logic. And you said judgment is facts plus inference. Absolutely not. Judgment is completely vague, subjective. मेरे ऊपर है. मतलब, according to me, X person could be extremely intelligent, and according to somebody else, that person might not be that intelligent. So judgment is something that works on these lines. Judgment में बहुत बार logic नहीं होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ए का सपोर्टर हो, अगर आप पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ए के सपोर्टर हो, सपोज, एंड आई एम सपोर्टर ऑफ पॉलिटिकल पार्टी बी. ओके, एंड ऑफ कोर्स ए एंड बी आर राइवल पार्टीज. व्हाट वी सपोर्ट, हमारा कोई, सो व्हाटएवर वी डू, वी बेसिकली क्रिएट जजमेंट्स. वी हैव फॉर्म्ड आवर ओन जजमेंट्स अबाउट पॉलिटिकल पार्टी ए एंड बी टू whom we support, right? The judgments are nothing but opinions. Think about judgments as opinions in your head. Okay, judgment equals opinions. This will help you at least in answering your questions. All right, I hope we are clear now. We'll move ahead to answering our first question for the evening. Answering these questions are fairly simple. I hope you're clear, Sarah. Just quickly give me a heads up if you're clear with this. Others, I will really ask you first and foremost every time I request you. First thing that you need to do is read the instructions. We'll quickly read the instructions. Facts. So here you see these are the exact instructions that came in CAT 2006 and before that in CAT 1994. And this is a question from those exams itself. We are going to solve previous year CAT questions. So you can see instructions में ही उन्होंने briefly define तो कर ही दिया कि what facts are, what inferences are, and what judgments are. So if there is a surprise, they will give you some help at least. You can expect that they might provide you some help. All right. Facts are, according to the instructions, facts which deal with pieces of information that one has heard, seen, or read, and which are open to discovery or verification. Okay, they are verifiable. Inferences, which are conclusion drawn about the unknown on the basis of the known. So this is a very interesting structure. Okay, inference is something जो आप unknown के बारे में draw करते हो. It's a conclusion that you draw about the unknown on the basis of known. So what is the basis of known? Known. What do you know? You know what you know is fact about the unknown. Okay, so that creates inference. And judgments. Judgments are opinions that imply approval or disapproval of persons, objects, situations, and occurrences in the past, the present, or the future. Okay. They have told us कि answer option में F is fact, I is inference, and J is judgment. All right. We have to find out, figure out sentence 1, 2, 3, 4. इनमें से which is fact, which is judgment, and which is inference. Okay. Let's go ahead and attempt them. Your strategy of answering the questions should be fairly simple. Okay. Always try to identify in the sentences, always try to identify the facts first. Okay. Facts are usually the easiest one among the three to spot. Then, since this one is an objective question, you should try and eliminate the answer options. We, in present structure of CAT, we can expect these questions. If you see carefully, these are nothing but different kind of parajumbles. Parajumbles में आपको उनको structure करना होता था. If you see, you have to identify or tag these questions. और आपको input करना होगा वो ordered input करना होगा. So we can expect these questions as theta questions if they come in CAT. All right. So make sure that you read all the questions carefully and option elimination अगर वो MCQ है that will be your strategy to save some more time. Okay, otherwise always we will quickly attempt them without actually looking for the options. We won't eliminate the answer options. So let's start. First question, let's all solve together. I can see some of you have already attempted that. Very nice to see. Let's try. First one. We should not be hopelessly addicted to an erroneous belief that corruption in India is caused by the crookedness of Indians. What do you think this is? First of all, I see as a word should in the first sentence. We should not be hopelessly addicted to an erroneous belief that corruption in India is caused by the crookedness of Indians. Actually, आगे का पूरा sentence, if you see, is just information. First half of the sentence, we should not be hopelessly. Now, when you say should, मतलब कोई suggest कर रहा है कि आपको तो ये नहीं करना चाहिए. Okay, you should not do this. You should not be addicted. You should not play during the afternoon, whatever it is. So, first sentence clearly is a judgment. So, my first sentence, I will mark it as a J. Okay. Then, second sentence. The truth is that we have more red tape. We take 89 days to start a small business. Australians take 2. Okay. Now, if you carefully see the structure, what is this? The truth is that we have more red tape. Again, even in this sentence, first part of the sentence is sort of a giveaway. The truth is, वो एक तरह से बोल रहा है कि actually देखिए बात ये है कि we have more red tape. We take 89 days to start a small business. Australians take 2. Okay, so this is sort of a fact because this is verifiable. You can clearly see this seems like a universal truth and this is verifiable. So second sentence clearly is a fact. So J and F. My order is that. Third sentence. Red tape leads to corruption and distorts distort, first of all, that's a typo, distorts people's character. Okay, red tape leads to corruption and distorts people's character. Now tell me, it may be true, it may not be true. We do not know this fact. We do not know this for a fact कि हाँ ये universal truth है. So definitely this is not a fact. Okay, this could be an inference and this could be a judgment. ये कुछ हुआ होगा, like from the perspective of the author, it could have been something must have happened and he could have come to this as a conclusion. So this could have been an inference, this could have been a judgment. Which one of these two is it? Is it a judgment or is it an inference? Now just read the sentence. Red tape leads to corruption and distorts a people's character. Do I find any logic in this sentence itself? In this sentence itself, I do not find any logic. Hence, among inference and judgment, this is clearly a judgment. So my order becomes J, F, J. So next, fourth sentence. Every red tape procedure is a point of contact with an official, and such contacts have the potential to become opportunities for money to change hands. You can very clearly see within the sentence there is a fact, and within the sentence there is a logic behind that fact. Okay, so together we can see that this sentence is inferential in nature. I see some logic and I see some fact. Okay, let's quickly read it again. Every red tape procedure is a point of contact with an official. It's a fact. They are establishing this. ये procedure ऐसा है. And such contacts have the potential to become opportunities for money to change hands. ये एक conclusion मैंने इस पे on the basis of some fact I have arrived at some मैंने कुछ logic लगा के I have arrived at this. So this is clearly an inference. So my order becomes JFJI, which is option E. All right, which is option E. And I'm glad to see that many of you have managed to answer it correctly. For any further doubts, please put it in the chat box if you have any query. My answer will be answer option E. Okay, I have a query, ma'am. For inferences, there is kind of connection between a fact and logic sentence. So, Akhil, with what I understand out of your query, कि inference में आप question में necessarily एक fact देखते हो और एक logic देखते हो. It so the fourth sentence that we saw here, for the time being, it has worked for us, but uh, the sentence has appeared like this. The first part of the sentence we have had a fact. Second part of the sentence we can see that okay ये कोई conclusionary sentence लग रहा है इस fact के basis पे. Sometimes you may not have it directly. Okay, inference में आप cause effect relationship देखते हो. Like I said, pointed out earlier, कि another way to look at the sentences कि first sentence is cause and second part of the sentence, like fourth sentence, first part of the sentence is cause and second part of the sentence is uh, an effect of that cause. Every red tape procedure is a point of contact with an official. ऐसा होता है. अब इसका इफेक्ट क्या है कि such contacts have the potential to become opportunities for money to change hands. So you tend to see cause effect relationship also. Every time you think about inference is conclusion. Inference is nothing but conclusion. Judgment is nothing but opinion. Okay, and facts are universal truths. So ये तीन चीजें अपने माइंड में रखो. It will be easiest for you to answer them. All right. I hope I helped you with the doubt. For others, I would want you to quickly try and attempt this question. Our our instructions remain the same. I'm sorry. All right. Thank you, Savita. Thank you, Manika. Keep trying the next question. All right. I will start with the discussion. First question, the next question that you see on the screen, we'll try and see again. We will try and identify the facts quickly. Okay. One by one, if I quickly, for the time being, let's ignore the answer options because we are keeping a possibility open that these questions might come as theta questions in CAT. So, these questions might come as theta questions in CAT. So with respect to that, we'll solve them independently. Let's see. First question. So much of our day-to-day focus seems to be on getting things done, trudging our way through the tasks of living. It can feel like a treadmill that gets you nowhere. Where is the childlike joy? Think about it. What is this question? What is this sentence? First of all, it ends like a question. What is the sentence? So much of our day-to-day focus seems to be getting things done, trudging our way through the tasks of living. It can feel like a treadmill that gets you nowhere. Where is the childlike joy? If by the sound of this sentence, अगर आप इस sentence को feel भी कर लोगे, okay, even if you imagine yourself as the speaker of this sentence, you can figure out that this is a judgment. What is a judgment? Just remember this: judgments are nothing but opinions. The author clearly is mentioning, clearly is talking about how our day-to-day focus seems to be on getting things done and just like going about our life without any destination, without any clear visibility of destination. Now, don't you think this is somebody's opinion? It might not somebody else. For example, if this is my perspective, your perspective might not be the same. Aapko, you have a clear, for example, you right now have a clear cut goal. You have to crack your B school entrance examination. You have to get in the top 10 or top 5 or top 20 B schools of India. You have a clear destination. So clearly, what this holds true for you, this might hold true for me, might not hold true for you. So clearly, this is a judgment because it is not verifiable. Okay, it is very subjective, not verifiable, or I can say it is very subjective in nature. So I can say that this is judgment. My first sentence is clearly a judgment. Second sentence: we are not doing the things that make us happy, that which brings us joy, the things that we cannot wait to do because we enjoy them so much. Now, again, this sentence, we are not doing the things that make us happy. There might be a chance that X person is not doing that. X person feels the same way, but I might not feel the same way. Again, this brings a lot of subjectivity here. This is an opinion कि हम नहीं कर रहे हैं जो हमको खुश कर रहा है हम नहीं कर रहे हैं वो. So this is a sentence that seems like जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा वाला कि जी लो अपनी जिंदगी types, right? So don't you think this is also an opinion? This is an opinion. This is nothing but a judgment. So my second part of the sentence is also a judgment. Second sentence is also a judgment. Third sentence. This is the stuff that joyful living is made of. Identifying your calling and committing yourself wholeheartedly to it. Think about this. This is also a sentence which has a component of subjectivity. If I'm telling you कि हाँ यही तो जिंदगी है, identify your call, what do you want to do and commit yourself wholeheartedly to it. This might be my opinion, this might not be your opinion. This is not a universal truth first of all. So clearly this is not a fact. Another way to look at this is clearly this is not a fact. Is this a judgment or is this an inference? Now inference अगर ये तब होता जब this might have had some element of fact in it. ये किसी basis पे conclude, is this a kind of conclusion? I do not see third sentence as a conclusion, nor I see that this is a universal truth. So this is a judgment, and clearly this is a judgment. It's by elimination also I've tried, and clearly this is a judgment because this is subjective in nature. Okay. So third sentence is also judgment. Fourth sentence. When this happens, each moment becomes a celebration of you. There's a rush of energy that comes with feeling completely immersed in doing what you love most. Again, this is not a universal truth, so not a fact. Inference के लिए this has no, absolutely no factual basis. ये किसी चीज के basis पे ये conclusion आया है. The sentence is clearly not like that. And naturally, this is an opinion. This has subjectivity. This is something that one person might feel and another person might not. It has subjectivity component in it. It is not verifiable. Okay. Hence, fourth sentence is also a judgment. Very clearly, I see that my order is J J J J J J J, and consequentially, my correct answer option is sentence D. Yeah, option D. I hope everybody is clear. If anybody has any doubts, please quickly post it in the chat box. Anybody, any doubt, please quickly post it in the chat box. For the time being, I'll move ahead for others who are clear can start attempting this question. Okay, can I explain sentence 3 again? I'm sorry guys, I'll quickly go backward. Sentence 3. This is the stuff that joyful living is made of. Identifying your calling and committing yourselves wholeheartedly to it. Kavita, I don't see any factual information in this. इसमें ऐसा इस sentence में ना कोई universal truth है. Okay? If you see, this sentence is sort of an up. There are two different ways of looking at this. First of all, I see a lack of logic in this. This is the stuff that joyful living is made of, identifying your calling and committing yourself wholeheartedly to it. इसमें कोई प्रूफ देख रहे हो आप? इसमें कोई लॉजिक या इसमें कोई बेसिस देख रहे हो? किस बेसिस पे कोई पर्सन ये बोल रहा है? इज देयर एनीथिंग that you can tangibly verify, that you can check if this is true or not? You can't even check if this is true or not. ये किसी का ओपिनियन ही तो है ना. Hence, this becomes an opinion out of somebody because this is subjective. Maybe some people don't want to identify; they just want to go with the flow, right? You see all these things in first of all philosophy books and movies, Bollywood movies a lot, right? इसमें subjectivity बहुत है and there's no way to identify whether this sentence is saying the truth or not. Hence, this sentence is a judgment. All right. I hope you're clear with this. I will now move ahead and quickly let others attempt this question. In this question, as we can see, let's try the first one. Given the poor quality of service in the public sector, the HIV AIDS affected should be switching to private initiatives that supply antiretroviral drugs, ARVs, at a low cost. Okay, what is this sentence? Given the poor quality of service in the public sector, first part of the sentence clearly opinionated. The HIV or AIDS affected should be switching to private initiatives. Again, जैसे ही, so this is a very important giveaway. Rest of the sentence, you just have to check for a fact if there is any fact that exists. जैसे ही आप should, can, will, should or will, I will be doing this. आप naturally you figure out that These kind of sentences are judgment. I'm glad to see many of you have quickly managed to answer this. And first part is a judgment. All right. Next, second sentence. The government has been supplying free drugs since 2004 and 35,000 have benefited up to now, though the size of the affected population is 150 times higher this number. In this entire sentence, all you see are numbers, statistics. Essentially, what you see are facts. These are completely verifiable and these stand true. These stand true and they are open to verification. मतलब आप verify कर सकते हो, check कर सकते हो if this is true or not. So clearly, this sentence is nothing but but a fact. This is a fact statement. Okay. Sentence number 3. The recent initiatives of networks and companies like AIDS Care Network, MCure, Reliance Cipla CII would lead to availability of much needed drugs to a larger number of affected people. ओके नाउ एक तो है कि शुड की जगह यहाँ पे वुड भी आ गया वन थिंग इज देयर नाउ लेट्स सी दिस कंप्लीट सेंटेंस द रीसेंट इनिशिएटिव्स ऑफ नेटवर्क्स एंड कंपनीज लाइक एड्स केयर नेटवर्क etc would lead to availability of much needed drugs to a larger number of affected people. अब first part of the sentence if you see it is a fact एंड इस फैक्ट के बेसिस पे ये इनिशिएटिव्स ऑफ नेटवर्क्स एंड कंपनीज ठीक है दिस इज अ फैक्ट कि कंपनीज एंड नेटवर्क्स आर मेकिंग सर्टेन इनिशिएटिव्स दिस इज अ फैक्ट यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ second part of the sentence would lead to availability of much needed drugs to a larger number of people आप you can sense the tone कि फर्स्ट के बेसिस पे सेकंड आ रहा है हमने कोई लॉजिक लगाया एंड फर्स्ट के बेसिस पे सेकंड आ रहा है सेकंड इज अ कॉन्सिक्वेंस it shows you a consequence कि पहले की वजह से ये हो सकता है okay so clearly this sentence has fact or cause effect relationship you can very clearly see the cause effect relationship also in this statement hence I would first one is cause and second one is effect hence I would term this statement as an inference I hope you're all clear with this second fourth sentence. But how ironic is that we should face a perennial shortage of drugs when India is one of the largest suppliers of generic drugs to the developing world. If you see this particular word, ironic, if you see this particular word, ironic, okay, and this word should, okay, just put them together and read the sentence again. How ironic is that we should face a perennial shortage of drugs when India is one of the largest suppliers of generic drugs to the developing world. Necessarily, the second part of the sentence that if India is one of the world's largest supplier of generic drugs, that sounds very necessarily that sounds like a fact. World's India ऐसा है. This is open to verification. But first half of the sentence that is supporting the second sentence, how ironic is it that we should face a perennial shortage of drugs? हम लोग ऐसा करते हैं यार. We should face. So जहाँ पे ही should वाला component आ जाता है, right? This becomes a judgment. This becomes an opinion. So this was a tricky sentence. Fourth one. First three were fairly easy. Fourth one is a tricky sentence, and this is a judgment. Now, on the basis of the options, I can see that my correct answer option is answer option A. And I am glad to see many of you have answered it correctly. Very nice. If there are any doubts, quickly post it on the chat box. And for the others, I will just move ahead and you can attempt this question. All right, I do not see any queries, so I will start solving with you guys. Sentence 1. According to all statistical indications, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has managed to keep pace with its ambitious goals. So one key word here is statistical indications. Okay, I mean two words technically. According to all statistical indications, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has managed to keep pace with its ambitious goals. Okay, the second part of the sentence, that Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has managed to keep pace with its ambitious goal. This second part of the sentence, you can see that it is an it sounds like a conclusion. And first part of the sentence, according to all statistical indications, the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan has managed to keep pace with its ambitious goals. So first के basis पे second clearly sounds like a conclusionary sentence. Hence, this first part of the sentence is first sentence is an inference. All right. Second part, second sentence. The midday meal scheme has been a significant incentive for the poor to send their little ones to school, thus establishing the vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. The midday meal scheme has been a significant incentive for the poor to send their little ones to school, thus establishing the vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. Now, the midday meal scheme, according to the writer, the midday meal scheme is establishing the vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. Now, within this sentence, do not one important aspect to FIJ questions is जितना sentence में दिया आप उतना ही assume करो. उसके अलावा आगे पीछे कुछ not keep any pre knowledge, pre assumption, not pre assumption, actually assumption. Do not keep any assumption in mind while answering a sentence. So, on the basis of this particular question, what do you see? The midday meal scheme has been a significant incentive for the poor to send their little ones to school, thus establishing a vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. Okay, think about it. This sentence, first of all, this sounds, though they talk about midday meal scheme and healthy body, and that establishing a vital link between healthy bodies and healthy minds. But is this a universal truth? Don't you think this sounds like more of an opinion of somebody कि मुझे लगता है कि हाँ मिड डे मील. So suppose you and I are getting involved in a political discussion. ये particular government ने ये वाली scheme निकाली थी. Okay, this is such a bonus. This scheme is such an incentive for the poor. Now, if you are of a different thought process, or if you are of a different belief, you might have a contradictory opinion to this, right? That uh, this is not true. There are other downsides to this particular scheme. Hence, this is clearly a judgment. This is a judgment because this is subject to opinion. This is very subjective, and you can see very clearly see a cause effect relationship in this. All right, so this one is a judgment. Now, third sentence. Only about 13 million children in the age group of 6 to 14 years are out of school. This very clearly is a fact because this seems like a universal truth. Uh, this has numbers, this has statistics, and this is clearly verifiable. So this is absolutely a fact. Fourth one, the goal of universalization of elementary education has to be a prerequisite for the evolution and development of our country. Although this particular sentence also has a judgment in it. Why? Because this has to be a prerequisite for evolution. It's a of elementary education. This may not be necessary. इसके बिना भी हो सकता है. Like it's clearly a judgment. So my fourth sentence, and with respect to answer options I, J, F, J. So answer option is C. I hope you're all clear with this. Any doubts, please quickly post it on the chat box before we move ahead for the last question of the day. Others who are clear, kindly move ahead with attempting this question. All right, thank you guys. I hope you're attempting the last question for the day. Let's quickly solve it together. First question, first sentence. One inequitable distribution of all kinds of resources is certainly one of the strongest and most sinister sources of conflict. Inequitable distribution of all kinds of resources is certainly one of the strongest and most sinister sources of conflict. Now, this, if you see, first of all, this sentence lacks a fact. Okay, this sentence lacks a fact or a concrete uh, something that doesn't have subjectivity. You can see that the sentence has subjectivity. Ye depends on which strata of society you come from. You will agree or you will strongly agree. You might strongly agree or you might strongly disagree with this particular sentence, depending on which strata of society you come from. Right? Inequitable distribution of all kinds of resources is certainly one of the strongest and most sinister. एक तो ये काफी strong word हो गया है sinister, right? पापी, most sinister sources of conflict. So clearly, first sentence is a judgment because again, this is my opinion. This could be my opinion. Second sentence. Even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. Even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. If you see, notice this clearly, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. This, although this clearly, this sentence is clearly not a fact because we don't have any element in it that you can verify or that is a universal truth. But you can definitely see one thing कि इसको आप verify कर सकते हो. Like इसको आप, this sounds like a conclusion. Even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. The sentence structure clearly indicates that on the basis of something, this is a conclusionary sentence. In other words, right? So I would call this sentence an inference. If there are any doubts, please quickly post it on the chat box so that I can address them. All right. Moving on to the third question. Extensive disarmament is the only insurance for our future. Imagine the amount of resources that can be released and redeployed. Now think about it. एक तो that can be released and redeployed, and this armament is the only insurance of our future. Imagine the amount of resources that can be released and redeployed. So this sentence structure very clearly you can see that this is somebody's opinion. Okay, this is somebody's opinion. So I would call it a judgment. Extensive disarmament is the only insurance for our future. ये universal truth नहीं है. Don't go by the sentence structure. Is this a universal truth? This armament is the only insurance for our future. Imagine the amount of resources that can be released and redeployed. उससे क्या होगा? Like this if you think about it, sentence 3 is कि अरे मैं कह रही हूँ ना ऐसा करो होगा ही होगा तुम्हारा. Like, so this clearly is a judgment. I have a query. How sentence 2 is inference. Okay. Sentence 2, let's quickly reread it. Even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. Okay. Ye, think about it. Is this so? We discussed that what is a fact? Fact is something that's a direct observation or that's an existing reality. Okay. What is an inference? Inference equals conclusion, and judgment is equal to opinion. Now, among the three types, three categories, second one, even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. We know that conflicts continue to trouble us. Is this a universal truth? They only change in character. अगर ये second part of the sentence नहीं होता तो maybe this could have been a fact. But even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. Now, this change in character, there is a sense of subjectivity in this sentence. This is not a conclusion clearly. So, this even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. This sentence is definitely not a fact, but can it be an inference or can it be a judgment? Uh, Even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. Okay, so I do see that first part of the sentence, conflicts continue to trouble us. This part of the sentence, we see that it has a factual element to it. This can be verified. They only change in character. Second part is it's a statement. Second part is a statement which comes out on the basis of first part of the sentence. Okay, first part of the sentence. Even without war, we know that conflicts continue to trouble us. They only change in character. So if I combine these two, I can say that this sentence has a cause-effect relationship. I can see that. Hence, this sentence would be an inference. I hope I helped you, Raj. If you are still not clear, I'll try a different approach. Please let me know in the chat box. Till then, I will move to sentence 4. The economies of the industrialized Western world derive 20% of their income from the sale of all kind of arms. Now, clearly, the economies of the industrial Western world derive 20% of their income from the sale of all kinds of arms. This is a universal truth. This is open to verification. This is verifiable. This is sort of data-based question. Hence, I would call this sentence a fact. So I see that my order is JIJF, which is answer option B. All right. Yes, this is a fact. I hope I'm clear. If there are any other doubts, please do let me know. All right. Any other doubts? We are through with the session for today. If there are any other doubts, please feel free to ask me. Post it in the chat box. Anything specific to the subject, I am here to help you. A couple of you have asked me for some suggestions regarding the reading. So I'm sorry I missed this in this week's presentation. I will make it a point to include a slide next week with some specific books on which books you can read, fiction, non-fiction, some other editorials. I have briefly covered what all you should read so far. Uh, Editorials is something you should regularly read, and beyond that, start reading the books. If you're already a reader, then I don't need to tell you very well which genre you should explore. If you're new to reading, you've just started reading, better I would ask you read some interesting. There might be something that interests you, right? Technology or politics or economics or business or sports, anything. So time and again, different kind of editorials touch different things. So start with something that interests you and go start, then eventually move to areas which you find extremely boring. So that is very critical for you to be able to get comfortable with different topics. All right. I have, ma'am, please share a few questions in group to practice. So that's one of the reasons why you can see on the screen. I have asked you. I suggest that you all subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow Instagram. Instagram pay we keep posting free questions, and apart from that, on both the sources we keep giving you MBA alerts. We keep giving you some strategy videos. We keep giving you some daily current affair updates. All right. So you will have these sources time and again. All right. And I will try and get back to you about this further. Any other queries? If there are any other queries, you can quickly let me know, or we will call it a day. Yes, sir. I will come back with these suggestions, specifically these suggestions by in within the next webinar. I assure. If I have to specify certain books, and if you're already a paid student, first, I know the situation of lockdown has made it slightly difficult for us to supply the study material very shortly. We are expecting that things will start moving. We'll receive our own study material. Till then, there are a lot of sources online. First of all, you must have gotten. We can connect regarding this personally. All right, we'll connect with you regarding this to address your specific issue. All right, with this, I will call this a day. Thank you all very much. It was fun taking this session. I hope to see you all next week. Stay tuned and please do subscribe. All right. Wish you all the very best. Stay healthy. Stay safe.